What's going on, everyone? Welcome to another episode of Forge for Greatness. Today, I'm going to skip the intro because we have a guest that needs to be somewhere very soon, and I also have to be somewhere very soon. So we're going to skip the intro. We're going to get right into things. Today, I have the honor of having on Lucia Artimova. What's going on, Lucia?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good. So, Artim Studio.
Yeah.
Am I pronouncing that right?
Yes, you are.
In East Hanover. And you started that how long ago?
Officially, we opened August 1st.
Okay.
I tried to open it in July, but we had a little hiccup, but it actually happened, so it's all good.
Awesome, awesome. And you've been in the hair industry for forever.
A long time.
How many years total?
28 going on 29.
Okay. Wow. Wow. 30 years. You going to celebrate it?
I absolutely, you know that. For sure. For sure.
Just invite me to the party, okay?
Okay, you got it. You got it, Chris.
So, how many years Artim Studio, though, in East Hanover?
So Artim Salon and Spa opened in 2009.
Okay.
My mom actually ended up opening it because I had a non-compete contract, which I respectfully wanted to respect for my previous owners.
Yeah.
So she opened in 2009, and I just basically went from Montclair to East Hanover, which I had no idea where East Hanover was or what the town actually entailed. But yeah,
It's a beautiful town.
It is. It's a cute little for the size of it, how small it is, and what it has to offer. It's unbelievable.
Too many Italians, though. We gotta ship them out of here.
Don't say that to any of the people, my clients specifically. No way.
God. I'm Italian. I'm just making a joke.
And my name here, hello, Lucia. So everybody assumed automatically I'm Italian.
Exactly.
Actually,
but you're not.
But I'm not.
What's your background?
I am born Czechoslovakia.
Okay.
I am actually Slovakian. And my parents migrated in 1991.
Wow.
Yeah.
And you were telling me off camera that they escaped communism. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. So my father ended up getting cursed with 3 girls. Blessing and a curse at the same time, correct? So in the communist country, women are not very pride upon and respected. So even if they were to finish a degree or go through the process, really the idea is become a housewife, you know. So my father, seeing 3 of us playing as we were little, 1986, something clicked in his head, and he just proceeded for 4 years silently trying to plan our escape.
And then it finally happened. What year?
1991.
1991. Okay.
Yeah. 1990, it officially took place. But 1991, we, really landed in Canada, and Canada was originally our plan. Unfortunately, as they say, plans never go as you wish. And what they did is they never allowed 5 people in a family to leave. So they gave us 3 flights, which was for my mother, my older sister, and myself. And a month later, my father was to arrive in Canada with my 5-year-old sister.
Wow.
Which he landed, but was handcuffed.
Oh my God.
And he got dual visa. So he got it for the United States as well as for Canada. And he ended up in LaGuardia Airport or JFK actually. Yeah. He ended up in JFK with my 5-year-old sister, no money, bunch of luggages with bunch of dishes, which my mother told him to pack. And he remembered a police officer that was a really good friend of his that knew that this was going to go down. So the law was, or may still very well be, pilot and a stewardess, if a stewardess has something against the pedestrian or the person on the plane, pilot has to agree. If there's enough of them agreeing to the situation. So when my father did land in Canada, unfortunately the stewardess was against it, and the pilot had to agree with whatever the stewardess wished, I guess. And basically, they landed him in JFK, and he remembered about that number being put into his luggage. He called it. A very nice guy picked him up. He also had 5 boys, and yeah, that's officially how it all started.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And what did your parents do for a living when, when they got settled here?
So my mom was an agriculture engineer back home,
Interesting. Okay.
um, and her position got taken away because she didn't follow the protocols of saying that she follows the way. So she became a teacher. However, in the United States, the reason why we were going to Canada is because she was an agriculture engineer and they needed those jobs. But when she came, we crossed the border illegally. I was 8. My sister was 12, 11 going on 12. And basically, my mom had to make a decision. Either we go back or we, start a life with dad. So we did do that.
Yeah.
And then basically, my mom was just trying to survive, right? 3 kids. Who would have thought? So she ended up being a house cleaning person, went to night schools, and then went for becoming a dental assistant, managing a dental office, and so forth. But my father, I don't think I saw him the first 5 years.
Oh, wow.
I think he worked 6 days a week, from
As
morning to night, doing any kind of odd
Yeah.
jobs, anything, just to survive.
Yeah, and support the family,
Yeah.
of course.
And he was a barber
Hmm.
back home.
Okay. So maybe that's how you got
It
your.
is in my blood. It is in
Okay.
my blood.
All right.
Yeah. So he could not do that kind of job. I mean, as you know, there's nothing in it, other than a few tips and very, commission-based salary.
Yeah.
He was not going to survive on that with 3
Gotcha.
girls.
Your recollection, your memory of that time period, is it pretty vivid?
Very.
Yeah. And what would you say were some of your personal losses during that time period, during your childhood?
Um, I don't necessarily feel as a child you have many losses. I think it's more for the adults.
Yeah.
As a child, my parents gave me whatever they could. It wasn't that the money wasn't available or the opportunity. It just getting those things was the difficult part. You had the money, you just couldn't get them. So, the shortage was like Slovakia in the middle of of Europe. We didn't really have oceans. We didn't have anything. So when a mandarin truck or a banana truck was coming through the town to drop off bananas, hundreds of people ran towards the truck. We stood on lines for like 2, 3 hours just to get bananas, and you stood there, whether it was hot or freezing cold.
You stood there.
You
Yeah.
stood there, you waited, and then you were, let's say, 4 people behind, and the truck ran empty. And you just stood on line for 2.5 hours to get nothing. You went home crying. So it was more of that kind of a trauma.
So like shortages of food and, things that you need to survive were kind of losses for you at an early age.
Correct. Everything was a compost.
Yeah.
Nothing was fresh. Unless your parents or your grandparents had a farm. So in that summer, in that timing, you had fresh fruit and you had fresh stuff.
Yeah.
But after summer,
Then everything's gone. Yeah.
yeah.
Wow. Wins. What were some of your early wins in your childhood that you can remember?
Winning, the biggest win, I think, of realization that family matters the most. Your parents.
Yeah.
Your parents' love. That was the biggest win. That separation was too traumatic.
Were they both role models for you, both your mom and your father?
The most amazing parents you could ever ask for.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the biggest lesson that they've taught you over the course of your entire life? What would you say it is?
Dream big and
Okay.
you'll get it. You just got to work hard for it. And I don't not necessarily think it's just working hard for it. I think you need luck.
Mm-hmm. You always need a little bit of luck on your side
Yeah,
with
you do.
anything that you're doing.
Yeah.
So, what was the biggest mistake or failure in your childhood, and how did that help shape you into the person that you are today?
I would say the greatest loss was losing your entire family, especially knowing you were so close with everyone,
Yeah.
not seeing them for a very long time, not knowing if you ever do or will ever see them again. Um, but at the same time, you realize that you can make friendships and develop relationships with people that are um, able to fill those little gaps of those people that you miss.
Yeah. Yeah. What would you say was the longest time frame that you were away from your closest family members?
So it was about 3 months being apart from my father.
Yeah.
Um, that connection was
Yeah.
unbelievable.
Yeah. It's okay to cry, by the way.
Oh, I'm
We
gonna.
have
I'm gonna,
tissues. We
Yeah,
have tissues for it.
I'm gonna. I already see it. I already know it.
So I love this story, and like, but we got to keep the wheels moving. So when did you develop a passion for hair coloring, hairstyling? When did that come about?
I was 7.
Okay.
So,
You were still in.
yep.
Okay. All right.
I knew I wanted to do hair. I would play with anything and everything. I would chop it up. I would create it. I would do all of those things. But I will say the one thing, the reason why I think I knew at such a young age, in Europe, they have a different way and perspective of actually introducing education to kids. So they make you really know that what you're going to do,
Yeah.
whether you're good with your hands or you're not. And I remember my father saying to me, bringing me to a pigsty, where pigs were actually held.
Okay.
And he brought me there and he said to me, if you don't do good in school, you get to pick up pig poop for the
Oh
rest of
my
your
God.
life. So figure it out. And I remember that hitting me vividly, that smell, that disgusting, these ladies, these old grandmas essentially that working,
Yeah. Yeah.
were picking it up. And I was like, I will
Yeah.
never,
Never do this.
I will figure it out as soon as I can.
Yeah.
And that was my vivid memory of going to an old village
That's so funny.
and smelling, all that. And I was just like, and the way they were raking it and cleaning it up. I mean, kids were always taught early on, like some sort of way to figure it out early. That was my traumatic way.
I'm just, my imagination's going right now, and I'm like thinking, like, as my son gets older and he wants to do certain things, like, I just imagine myself bringing him to a farm and saying the exact same thing that your father said to you. It's like, do you want to work at this farm and pick up the horse shit all day, every day, and smell
That's
that?
right. Take him to an Olstead farm
Yeah.
and he will know for sure whether
Oh
that's
my
a yes
God.
or a no.
Listen, some people love working with animals. They don't mind picking up shit.
And
but,
thank God for those people.
Yeah.
And thank God for those people. I
Yeah.
always say it takes a special person to really farm.
Yeah.
It is one of the most labor intensive jobs out there. And we get to go to the store and reap the benefits of it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we do waste a little bit too much, which is, unfortunate, but it is so divine to know that you could just go there and just get whatever you want.
This podcast, this particular episode is about hair.
And
The hair studio. We're talking about farms and animals and pigs and chickens and cows. Oh my God. All right, let's get back on track.
Yes.
So, all right, your journey started not professionally, but it
No.
started at a very young age, 7 years old. When you got to the States, when did you realize, all right, I want to be a hairstylist?
So in high school, sophomore year, I had a bunch of teachers that sat me down and were like, "What are you gonna do? Where are you gonna go? You should start looking at colleges." And I was extremely good at art, except I didn't know necessarily what that was going to entail. I wanted to go into fashion at the time, and I know I would have figured it out when I would have been at LaSalle University, or any university for that matter. But at the time, when I was a sophomore, I was like, my mom was saying to me, well, if you're going to go into beauty school for art or for whatever, for fashion, I was a little bit like, she's like, you're going to be hanging hangers in Macy's. And I don't want you doing that. You're going to go through, all that schooling for nothing. So I signed myself up to Votech beauty school. My parents did not know about it. I took their signatures and I signed it for them.
Wow.
And I went to Votech, like a basic, nothing wonderful of a schooling. And I was a good student. So when my parents found out, they found out of my junior year.
Yeah.
They found out basically that I ended up doing this. We had a big meeting. My father didn't talk to me for almost 3 years.
Oh my God.
He was devastated, disappointed. He said, I never brought you to this country to stand on your feet. He told me all the negatives about it. And I knew I wanted to do it. Why? I don't know why. It was a drive.
Yeah.
It was just a drive. And when I got into it, he thought I was going to be going in to flunk out, essentially. Come out, be nothing, do nothing, don't even go to college, nothing. And no, I proceeded, I continued. 17 years old, I bought my car. It was a Chevy Lumina 1990 for $1,000. And then 18 years old, I bought a brand new Honda Accord because I worked so hard from 17 to 18. And, at that point, I was an assistant, making $5.25 an hour. Going back, I mean, that was a basic salary to start off with, plus tips. But I did it.
Yeah.
I did do it. And then by 20 years old, I started at Bangz, going on almost 21 in Montclair. And in 1 year, by 21, going into 20 to 21, I basically developed an unbelievable clientele. By 21 into 22, I already had 800 customers.
Wow.
By 23, I was so good at my job and I was so talented and I had so many people, customer-wise, that I got bored. And I picked up and I said, you know what? My parents don't know what they're doing. I'm working my tail off. I was so ungrateful. I really was. Everything was given to me. Anything I wanted, I had.
Yeah.
So I said to my parents, I'm going back to Czech Republic. I'm going to show you that, I want to become an unbelievable hairstylist in Czech Republic. And I did do it. I lived there for almost a year. It was just under about 10 months.
Okay.
And I told my owners at the time that I'm going to leave. They said to me, big mistake. What are you doing? Are you crazy? And I said, no, I'm going to go take education, do extra stuff. And I wanted to elevate.
Yeah.
And I felt like I was just redundantly doing the same thing over and over again. And I was very good at what I did, but I wanted to go further. So I went to Prague knowing no one. I was 23 years old. My mother begged me on the way to the airport, don't do it. I said, the more you say to me don't, the more I want to.
The more I want to do it.
And the more I did. And I had an amazing experience during that time.
What did you learn there that you pocketed and brought it to here?
Basically, you could be the most wonderful person, but if you don't have a root of people really vouching for you and fighting for you, you can't make it there. You can't.
Mm-hmm.
And even you can want it, but if they're not rooting for you, I did I wanted to become a WELA international educator,
Mm-hmm.
and I went into this competition, and there was only one female to 7 males. And nothing against any male gender, I'm not doing that. But in Europe, it is not. I I basically, it was me and this one guy, head to head. And the only difference, they said to me, your talents were better and stronger, but he spoke an additional language. You lose because of that.
Hmm.
And he spoke German, but I spoke other languages,
Yeah.
but it wasn't enough. So I had
What
the
did that
woman
teach you? What did that moment teach you?
that you can always fight, but at some point, what are you fighting for, and what is it? Is it worth it?
Mm.
You know,
Because of the system.
the system, you can't break it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't break it.
So then you came back here, right? And then how long after you came back from Prague did you start Artim Studio?
So at that point, I did come back around. I actually worked for them a couple more years. I called my old bosses and I said, guess what? I took the education. I progressed.
Yeah.
I did updos. I did runway for a woman who worked out of Milan.
Mm-hmm.
So I would go back and forth to Milan from Prague, and I did progress I advanced my way of
Yeah.
education, which was even more exciting. But at that point, when I called my bosses and I said, hey, listen, I'm really considering of coming back. Would you take me back? Because they told me that they wouldn't.
Mm-hmm.
And I had a really good connection with my boss, Dominic. He was a very nice guy. And I said, you know what? Can we just take it, can you just give me another chance? And he says, I'll book you out. You'll be so booked for 2 months, you won't know what to do. He took me back, and sure enough, I really was. I
Yeah.
was booked solid. All my clients came back to my chair. They were excited.
What town was this in?
Montclair.
Montclair. Okay.
Yeah, I worked for a really big salon, Bangz. It was, it was the place to be
Mm-hmm.
for a very young 20-year-old, thriving, ambitious person.
Okay. So you learned more and more and more, right? As
Yep.
you went along.
And then 2009, 2008, my mom approached me and said to me, I'm considering and thinking of opening up a business. If I open a salon, would you be interested? And I said, well, I'm doing very well where I am, but of course you're my mom. Like, how can I not?
Yeah, yeah.
And I had a talk with my bosses, and my bosses were like, why don't you just work part-time for your mom and part-time for, us? And I couldn't do it. I knew that if I worked like that, I couldn't be 100% in each
one
area.
Yeah.
So I said, you know what? I appreciate everything you've given me and done for me. However, at this time, I'm going to pass, and I'm going to decide to make this decision. And I did. And it was a very hard one, because here you have your parents that did everything for you, sacrificed everything for you. And then here you had a really wonderful team of bosses and just staff.
Mm-hmm.
And it was just like the prime location was, you wouldn't want to be anywhere at that time other than Montclair.
Yeah.
Of course, there weren't 60 salons in the Montclair at the time. There was, only a handful of really good ones. And I had to decide. And as difficult as it was by far, of course, I was going to choose my mom.
Yeah. You said, Mom, let's do this.
Yeah.
And how is working with your mom been?
Be honest with you, it was a lot of people, I couldn't believe how many negative comments I got with opening a business, or because I didn't open it. I just literally was an employee of hers. But the fact that I went to work for her, how many negative comments I had. Oh, she's going to ruin you. She's going to work you to the bone. You're going to ruin your family dynamic. You're going to ruin your relationship. The negativity that I got from so many customers was unbelievable.
Yeah.
But as when they started to see how like in harmony we worked together, then there was a little bit, a little understanding, but also a little bit envyism. Some people don't have that. And it was quite difficult because you had either positive feedback or you got the negative. And, but I'm going to tell you, there's not a moment in my life that I think when I'm going to be old, laying in that bed, waiting to go, questioning what I did, because it was magical. It's like I got to do it with my mom. And it's like your child, when you're raising your child, and Chris, you have a child. That when your son is so ambitious to say to you, Daddy, I want this, and Daddy, and you make it work. You'll do anything for your kid. Now imagine if that kid is feeling the same way about you one day when you are in dire need of them.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. I mean, do you guys still butt heads every once in a while? Yeah, I'm sure. Stupid question.
Oh my God. It's embarrassing. I'm like, and I start speaking my language and I'm like, don't do this to me. I'm gonna, it's really, and I'm like, we push each other's buttons, but we also push each other to become better.
To grow.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I love that.
Yeah.
So early on in the business, what were some of your wins?
The wins were just, there was no wins. It was effing hard.
Okay.
There was no wins. There was no
So
wins.
all mistakes, all failures, and learning from.
It was so difficult. So difficult. I'm talking 5 days a week, 3 12-hour days. We took on a staff we didn't know. They didn't know us. There was a little grudge there because they didn't really want to work for us, but they kind of, had their own clientele and they didn't want to move. They were stuck in their ways too.
Yeah.
It was very difficult, but I think the only win that I had in that moment was just being next to my mom and just us battling it together.
Yeah. Battling through the adversity.
Yeah. I mean, when you're investing so much money and so much time and so much passion and people don't really have the same vision as you and you don't get to, it's not like we actually bought a business and we got the staff that had our vision. You had staff that had someone else's vision.
Yeah.
And now you had to maneuver them and start to
teach them a new culture.
Shift them
Yeah.
without offending them.
Yeah.
And you always offended them because it was not what they wanted. So.
Well, I was going to say, at least throughout all this adversity, problems, mistakes, failures, you had your mom. Because a lot of people, business owners, they go through it all by themselves and they don't have that shoulder to lean on, or you know what I'm trying to say?
100%. I will say you have to have someone. You have to either have a spouse or someone that you could literally just dump on. I call it dumping.
Yeah.
You come to each other and you dump on each other. And then when she dumped on me, I would lift her. When I came to dump on her, she'd lift me. It was the most harmonious thing. And, it was difficult because when I saw my mom going down the path of negativity, you don't want that for them. Yeah. You're saying to yourself, but we're doing so good. We're doing so great. And, at some point, my mom was doing really good.
Yeah.
And we started getting the type of staff that we wanted, that had our vision. And then the other staff didn't slightly still have our vision, but we're kind of getting maneuvered towards it. And then COVID. man, was that the
That threw a wrench into
scariest
everyone's plans.
shit
Yeah.
ever. It was so by far reading. My mom's like, absolutely, well, they will never in America. We are in the freedom of this country. They will never close us down. They will never shut us down. And it was like, my mom, after a month and a half, what the fuck is going on? Where are we? We're coming into the same regime that we escaped. We're being told we have to stay indoors. What is this?
Fucking weirdest time ever that we've probably
Socially.
lived through. Yeah.
And socially, how
Yeah.
unusual. Certain people lock themselves up for a year,
They're
2
still
years.
locking them. They're still locked in. They're
I still see
literally
people
still
in
locked
masks
inside.
driving, and
It's
I'm like, what are you
crazy.
doing?
Yeah, I don't like to talk politics on this, but it's just the things that you see, you just question, like,
There are little
yeah.
minuscule windows that I always say to everybody that replay in your head, and you're just like, wow, holy crap, it's, is it happening? Is it going to be again? What is the alternative? How long? And thankfully, because of the type of clientele I have, and I have an amazing relationship with these people, it's, some of them come to me since I started, literally. They got us out. They had the connections with the bank tellers. They had so we paid everybody to the very end.
Yeah.
I never collected. My mom never collected. As owner, you don't collect. You just suffer and you feel the pain. But I worked, and everybody knows it. You all know it. You all came to me, and we had a brown paper over the door. All the cops in town in East Hanover knew it, and they were never going to do anything to us. They knew that they wanted us to continue sustaining, right?
course.
Like, and I socially distanced people. At that point, I was only doing one customer at a time, but I needed to pay my bills. I needed to pay my rent that was due. I needed to pay for
To
all the
survive.
supplies.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Would you say that was the biggest challenge or failure in business was COVID, or would you say it was something else?
That was one of the biggest challenges for the owners.
Yeah.
I think too many people failed.
Yeah.
And I think I felt really terribly bad for them. But we didn't fail. We got our head above the water. We had our noses, literally, it was just to the nose at that point. And the loyalty of our customers really allowed us to rise above it. And that's one thing I think I learned, is that my mom made a subtle mistake. Even though she had backup plan, essentially like saving extra money,
Yeah.
that money goes real quick, really quick. So I am now planning plan A, plan B, plan C as a backup. And I know people make money in their business, and they go out shopping and they do these things, and they start to, spend their, I am not doing that. I am
For
living-
situations like COVID 2.0 or
Correct.
any other.
I am preparing. And I think every owner should be prepared for that. I think it is so easy to, when you get to that top or to that elevated area, to feel that. But I think it's necessary to prepare for it, just in case. It never hurt.
Yeah.
Never hurt.
How do you define success today versus how you defined it, like, as a child?
As a child, I always felt you needed to work really, really hard, physically, really hard to get that award. Now I realize that you don't need to. You can work smarter. You can really choose the customer base that you really want to attract. Charge accordingly. I think that's one of the things that so many people are resistant against, and they are so afraid to do, is to actually charge their worth. And I think I gave my services away for a very long time. And now it's like the clientele I have is exactly the most I should have and the type of clientele. And they're committed to me and I'm committed to them. And I give them 110%. Not that I didn't before, but I did it at a much faster pace. Now I'm slowing down.
Would you say you attracted the ideal clientele that you've always wanted?
I'm working towards it.
Okay.
I'm
All right.
working towards it.
Okay.
Yeah. I think we all are, even
Yeah.
my entire staff. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah.
So let's just say this is a video game. Did you ever play video games
Oh my God. Are you
as a
kidding
kid?
me?
Yeah.
Yes, of course.
What's your favorite video game of all time?
Sonic.
Okay. All right. All right.
Okay, I was a Sega girl.
All right.
I did Nintendo and I did Mario and I did all of
Mario
those.
Kart. Come
Oh,
on.
come on.
That's the best.
Yeah, that was my sister. That was my younger sister, yeah.
Let's just say you have to get to level 30, right?
Mm-hmm.
What level are you currently at in life, in business, in general?
I'm gonna probably downplay this, and not because I think I'm a 22.
Okay.
I'm almost there. These next 5 years of my life are really gonna be fully immersed to get me to that 30.
Okay. What do you? Not
It's a
that you're
five-year
not that you're
plan.
gonna show your cards right now, but what do you have to do to get to level 30?
I think elevating the productivity in such a way of increase, but without really effectively hurting your customer base. And that can it only takes time.
Yeah. Yeah.
Time is of the essence, yes, but to attract that kind of customer base, you really have to just give it time to really get it where you want it
Gotcha.
consistently. And that is the huge key, consistency.
Before we dive into the final 5 questions that I ask every guest, we call it the Forge 5. I do want to ask you to plug all the different services that you offer at the salon, because we didn't even touch on that, because we've been kind of diving deep into,
Yeah.
aspects of your family, your background. So if you can just plug everything that you guys offer and do.
So we're a family-based salon. We do anything from children's haircuts, styles, updos to, like communions and stuff like that, proms. We end up doing men's haircuts, dyes for men and women. We do extensions. We do all form of coloring services. We do waxing. We do facials. We end up doing head spas, manicures, pedicures. We are a suite-based salon that is tiny but has a lot to offer and very intimately. So it's not a loud, obnoxious, very big crowded shop that I used to work for,
Yeah.
which you kind of blended, or you kind of disappeared. It's almost like everyone is being visual,
Tended
like
to.
correct, and they're in your face. They're here. I am. This is what I do. So we have Tatiana. She does manicures, pedicures, and she does the head spas. She's fantastic. It's an intimate one-on-one. While then, you have Candace doing makeup for the bridal suites and the bridal area that we have. So we have an esthetician by the name of Angela. She's amazing. And then there's Zara and myself doing all hair services. We have a private extension room. We do tanning. I mean, it's for how tiny the space is, and it's not even that tiny. It's almost 3,000 square feet, but it is very intimately done.
Love it. What do you love personally the most about your profession, your career? What do what you do for a living?
Making somebody feel like when they walk in, they're feeling one way and walking out completely amazing and real.
Transformed.
Yeah. And then also feeling good, right? It's almost like when you have that outfit and you put that belt on, if your hair looks good And that whole outfit came, it just, you feel good. For women, it's extra important because you could put on that gorgeous dress, you could put on that gorgeous outfit, and if your hair is a little off,
disheveled,
everything else is just not falling into place. Yeah.
I got you on that. You ready for the Forge 5?
Okay.
5 questions that I ask
That's right.
every guest.
Go ahead, shoot.
What is a habit that you attribute most of your growth to?
Most of my growth is to really my parents overcoming a lot of stuff and me seeing that undivided attention to love. And I think when you love and you're passionate about something and you have the support, man, you can kill
The
anything.
sky's the limit.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's right.
Love it. What is a failure that you're most grateful for?
Not fulfilling everyone's my father, disappointing my father, really, honestly. Disappointing my father, because my father's dream was something else for me, and this was my dream. And just really, like, yes, it hurt me to hurt him and put him in a place and not, where he wanted me to be. That was my greatest failures, disappointing the shit out of my father.
Yeah. Is he proud of you now?
Oh my God.
Yeah.
We're so close.
You proved them wrong.
Yes, I did.
I want to touch on that real quick. So everyone has that intuition to do something. You had it, right? You pursued your passion, your drive. But at the same time, they may have people in their lives, AKA your parents, that don't want you to take that path that you really want to take. How do you manage that?
So I always say to everybody, you're not here to please them. You're here to please you, to fulfill you. And I think that's like, everybody says this to me, how could you have done it? And I was like, I don't know. I just had this, I knew what I wanted to do. I knew what I wanted to be. And when you know, it's just, you got to keep going. And I'm going to tell you, there was plenty of times I had cried my eyes out and I felt like a failure and I felt like I didn't really, but God has something to do with it. Or if you don't believe in God, it's not believing is believing, right? So it's like that drive is all you need. It will get you there. The universe will give you what you want. It just may not be when you want it or how you want it. It's going to come to you in a different kind of way.
Just got to keep asking for it.
You just got to keep going. Just got to keep going. You just got to keep doing it. And the thing is, a failure is when you know, intuitively, you know that something is pulling you away from it. That's when you're on the right path. That's when you know you're doing it.
Yeah.
Because something is literally telling you, don't do it. Or if people get in your ears.
Yeah.
It's that motivation right there. If you're just right there. You got it. Just keep going. Yeah.
Love it. What is one truth you wish you learned sooner?
Without luck and consistency, you cannot get it all. You cannot get it. You have to be, you gotta connect. You gotta tell people. You gotta vocalize it. You gotta scream it out loud. You gotta let people know, because not everybody knows what you're up to. Yeah. Not everybody, and you never know who knows who knows what. How can they help? I remember not wanting to tell one of my customers that I'm leaving Bangz. And I was like, I don't want her. I don't want her to follow me. That's the only person I don't want to come to Mom's salon. And that woman, but when I did tell her, what that woman was able to do, Ella, rest in peace, she rose me up in such a way it was surreal.
Mm-hmm.
That woman was, something told me not to, and then somehow at last minute I did,
Yeah.
because she kept being persistent on asking me, and I was like, here's my number, call me. And then I picked up, and I had a really bad week that week, and she called me. She's like, I called you 18 times to try to get to you, and I was having a really bad week. So I said, you know, Ella, I'm gonna do your hair today. You just come on in. She came in, and from that moment on, for 9 years, she continued to be my client. But she lifted my staff. She lifted people. She did the things that she was able to do within that shop.
Yeah.
And to me, was surreal.
Just her spirit alone was contagious.
Yes.
Yeah. No, I love that. Going back to what you said though, without luck, without consistency, you're not going to get where you want to go in life, right? So you would say that those are the two main ingredients in order to bake the cake.
You do need to tell people, yeah, you do need to tell people, you do need to communicate, you do need to get those right connections just to kind of bring you that extra,
Yeah.
you know, that you're looking for.
Love it.
Don't be afraid. Like, one thing, don't be afraid to ask. Don't. And I was always ashamed of that.
Yeah.
Now I'm not.
Love it. When things get overwhelming, stressful, chaotic, every day for a business owner, what do you do to stay grounded?
So for everybody, it's something else. You know, for a little while, it was me going to the gym and really working out really hard and, you know, doing my crazy lifts and stuff like that. But it's now me being spiritual. I'm a very spiritual person, and I have severe faith, and if it's meant to be, and even if it doesn't work out, it's going to work out at a different timing.
Of course.
It's just not the timing.
If you keep pursuing whatever that is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Last question. What does forged for greatness mean to you?
Forged for greatness. Just don't ever give up. Don't ever give up. Always, there's going to be a constant curveball, but just keep going. Keep going. Because when that curveball happens, something is intentionally getting in that way to prevent you to get to the next phase. It's the step up.
Backtracking a little bit before we end this segment, I want to go back to what you were talking about earlier about escaping communism. What did that moment, seeing your parents escape, make a better life for themselves and for you guys, what did that teach you?
You know, it's so unbelievable, because we're going back right now, and the whole thing is like this young generation, I'm noticing that they have a lot of anxiety, right? But if you choose to use it in a very healthy way, anxiety is God created it on purpose.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah.
But if it's utilized the proper way, it's able to elevate you in a positive way. The problem is that they're so anxious for the silly minor crap, the really cynical stuff. It's not, you know, we all go through that anxious moment,
feeling,
those anxious moments. But when it comes to life and death, where it's like a separation and like a permanence of possibility of never seeing or being together again, talk about anxiety.
It's a whole nother level.
7 or 8 years old. Now, whatever's happening, not that I want to divert, but whatever's happening in this world today, where kids are being parted from their parents and everything else, I'm living it too, because I've lived it.
Yeah.
And the whole thing is like, just, you have to understand that not having sometimes is a good thing, because when you do get it, man, do you appreciate it. And when you get that reconnection, and when you get that turn back, it's just unbelievable.
It's almost like they taught you that those really anxious moments, escaping communism, coming here without any money in their pockets, it's almost like you have to use that anxiety and turn it into productive action.
Correct.
And turn it into something really good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct.
Love it.
Yeah.
So that was the Forge 5. What's next for you in terms of the business, in terms of personal growth? Like, what's next for you?
So the next 5 years, I hope to basically take the salon to a very elevated section of my life and make it very zen like place. I want staff that is like-minded like I am, really considering and thinking of the customer, knowing that the world is so crazy. I don't want you to talk about you. I don't want you to talk about your politics, your religious beliefs, or anything. I want you to let that customer be and really bring them to that environment and safety where they feel like,
At home.
holy smokes, I want to come back because I felt so good. I felt listened to. I felt cared for. The genuine aspects of it.
Yeah.
I know that there's so many talented and amazing hairstylists out there, but I think we're just so caught up on ourselves. We just need to like really, really, really think about these people that are going through these things in life.
Yeah. I noticed that you use the word elevate it multiple times during this episode.
Because life is, yeah.
You keep looking at the sign?
Yeah, no, because no,
It's
no.
So it's funny.
I
It's
didn't
pronounced
know-
elevate it.
Oh, I didn't know that.
People butcher it all the time. They're like, lava Ted? And I'm like,
no,
what?
elevated.
Yeah.
No.
I don't know.
But to me, no, life is you have such a possibility. And I just think that people sleepwalk through life many times, they're not really living. They're just churning.
Yeah.
We're all churning.
Yeah.
It's just, I'm in it.
Got it.
I'm in that moment.
You're dialing it up.
But I'm in it.
Yeah.
Like I'm feeling it.
You're in the zone.
Correct.
Love it.
Yeah.
So where can people find you and the salon, your work?
We're at 57 Ridgedale in East Hanover, New Jersey. And we work from Tuesday through Saturday. And it's Artim Studio. You can't.
On Instagram, it's Artim Studio?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Artim comes from your last name, right?
Yeah.
What does your last name mean if you translated it?
Art.
Okay.
Yeah. Like it's like artistic vibe. Like,
Yeah.
it means something in that sort of I believe I wrote,
That's why
somebody wrote that in a magazine for me.
Oh, really?
She Googled the name and then she said it's meant to be artive and creative or something like that.
Okay. So it
she's
ties
like,
into what you do.
Correct.
Hair
Yes.
art.
Yes.
Art of hair.
But it is a Roman name.
Yeah.
My father has no idea, as far as like what or anything like that. But I'm sure Romans had settled in Slovakia and, love happens and the rest is history.
Love it. Love it. Best of luck to you. I know
Thank you so
you're
much.
already kicking ass and you're just going to get better and better. So
I hope so.
appreciate it.
Thank
Appreciate
you.
you coming on.
Likewise. Oh my
Awesome.
God. Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Lucia.
All right. Love it. Thank you.
Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Forge for Greatness with Lucia from Artim Studio. I hope you guys got some value out of this. If you or someone you know would be a great guest for Forge for Greatness, please message us on Instagram, drop a comment on YouTube, and share this episode with a loved one. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you on the next episode.